Should you master your own music? As a mastering engineer, my answer might surprise you. It depends on two things: how soon you need to release and what you actually want long term. If you need your master out as soon as possible, hire someone. A good mastering engineer will get you a better result faster. But if your goal is to learn the craft, I highly recommend doing it yourself. The hard part? Mastering your own productions is one of the most difficult things to do. You're so invested in every element that you avoid making compromises. You resist taking things out. You hesitate to rebalance the mix even when it clearly needs it. It takes some years before you learn that detaching from the production side is actually a healthy move. And here's something nobody tells you. There is no best mastering version. You can master the same project on different days and get different colors, different vibes. In the end, you decide when to stop. Knowing when to stop is a skill in itself. If you're going to master your own music, these are the mistakes that will ruin it before you even start. The biggest one is gain staging. Most people don't understand it. They slap hyped plugins on the mastering bus and hope for the best. That's not mastering. That's gambling. The second mistake is trying to fix production and mixing problems at the mastering stage. If your kick is rumbling and it is too loud, you can try to fix it in mastering, but at the cost of a balanced low end. Fix it in the mix first. Third, mastering without reference tracks. This is like navigating without a map. Reference tracks help you compensate for your room's inaccuracies and give you something real to compare against. And finally, mastering at high volumes. Our brains interpret frequencies differently at different SPL levels. What sounds balanced when it's loud may be completely off at a normal listening level. This one mistake alone can ruin everything else you're doing right. You don't need a $10,000 studio to start learning mastering. Here's the bare minimum: a pair of Yamaha HS8 monitors, and maybe a sub if your budget allows it. A pair of Sennheiser HD600 or HD650 headphones, so you can test between two different listening environments, an audio interface, and reference tracks. That's it. Monitors, headphones, interface, references. When I started, everything was too expensive. Nowadays, you can find great gear for less, especially on the second-hand market. Don't let gear be the excuse that stops you from starting. And here's a simple mastering workflow you can try this weekend on one of your tracks. Start by putting your meters in the last slot on the mastering bus. Import one or two reference tracks that represents the sound you're going for. Then import your mix and bring down the volume of the reference tracks to level match them against your mix. This is critical because loudness bias will trick you into thinking louder always sounds better. From there, work through these stages in order: EQ for tonal balance, compression, saturation, a cleaning EQ pass, stereo width and depth, and finally a limiter to bring the loudness where it needs to be. Once you have your master, listen to it everywhere: your car, headphones, earbuds, or a laptop speaker. If something sounds off on every system, it's a real problem. If it only sounds off on one, it's probably that system. When I master someone else's music, I'm not just listening to the song, I'm diagnosing their entire setup. If the mix is boomy, chances are they don't have a sub or they are mixing on headphones. If there's no depth or too much width, they probably used a hyped all-in-one processor. If there are lots of resonances, especially on vocals, their room is problematic or they need more practice in recording or even mixing. That kind of listening takes years to develop. And it's one of the real reasons hiring a mastering engineer has value beyond just making your track louder. A good engineer brings perspective you simply cannot have on your own music, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't learn it yourself. Understanding what good mastering sounds like and why certain decisions are made will make you a better producer, a better mixer, and if you do hire someone, a much better client. So should you master your own music? If you want to learn, absolutely yes. Start with the basics, use reference tracks, and don't overthink the gear. I walk through my complete mastering workflow in my Pro Audio Mastering course. You can find the link in the description.